Hello, welcome to Q&A with Paul Chek. I'm Paul Chek, and somebody sent a very good question in. And the question is, what is the difference between the subconscious and the unconscious? That's a very important question because a lot of people do not distinguish the two and make the mistake of thinking that they're the same thing, but there actually is a distinction. A great book to read, by the way, is Your Body is Your Subconscious Mind by Candace Pert. Excellent book. In that book, Candace Pert goes into great detail about the subconscious, but put simply, the subconscious mind is the wisdom of your body. It's your subconscious mind that is handling 30 billion biochemical reactions a second, running your entire autonomic nervous system, and essentially keeping you alive. So the subconscious is largely a right brain process. It's connected to the wholeness of you. The left brain processes information in series, but the right brain can parallel process, which means it can take multiple inputs at once. But just like I can only speak one sentence at a time or it would be just gibberish, the left brain is linear and your conscious mind is predominantly a linear process, but your subconscious functions are more oriented toward right brain activity. And so these are just generalizations. Don't take these to be hard facts. I'm trying to give you a way of relating to the topic. But when you're talking about your instincts, for example, your instinct to drink water, your instinct to move your body, your instinct to pee or to poop, or to love, or to create, or to breathe, or to find warmth or shelter, those are all within the domain of the subconscious mind. The unconscious mind is far more vast than the subconscious. The unconscious is, there's several layers to it. You have your personal unconscious, which is everything that you know but cannot remember, every experience you've ever had in this lifetime, and potentially every lifetime your soul has ever lived, depending on what spiritual orientation you approach it from. It's all the things that you're dreaming of in the background. It's all the things that you want to do but can't keep in the forefront of your mind. So the unconscious mind is a vast amount of information, and your personal unconscious, if you think of a submarine in the ocean, and its periscope looking up above the water, the periscope would be your conscious mind. So one of the ways I teach my students how to understand the unconscious versus the conscious is I say, take a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll, or make a hole and pretend you're looking through just that tube. That represents your conscious mind. And then I say, now, you can't see the sky and the stars and the trees and the buildings and the people behind you or even over there, but they're there. So the conscious mind is what you can be consciously aware of, and the subconscious mind is everything else that's necessary for the existence of what you're conscious of. For example, I can see the camera and I can see my wife standing behind it, but I cannot see the rest of the world that is the air that her and I drink, the food her and I eat, the stars that light the sky, the moon. So the unconscious is vast because it contains all the information about how creation itself works, which we're part of. Within the unconscious, there is the collective unconscious, which is the memory of every experience that's ever happened on this planet, not only for human beings, but for all living beings. And so that's part of what's called the mind of Gaia, or the noosphere. Teilhard de Chardin speaks of the noosphere. There's different conceptions of the noosphere. Some say it's the mind of the earth, some extend it, like some Neoplatonists, all the way out to the universe. So the unconscious is extremely vast. So you have your subconscious, which is the wisdom and the intelligence of the cells in your body and your DNA. You have your personal unconscious, which is everything that you know but can't recall, everything that you're dreaming about but aren't aware of, everything you're thinking about and planning but maybe isn't in the forefront of your mind, or it has been a fleeting moment, but it's still there. Every experience you've ever had, but can't consciously recall. Within the personal unconscious, you have the information that you don't have access to, but is important. But you also have your shadow, which is all the aspects of yourself that for any reason you don't want to look at for fear of your own self-judgment or ego diminishment. And then you have the unconscious as a whole, which extends itself from the world to the entire universe. So you have a unconscious of the earth, you have the unconscious of the solar system, including the sun, and you have the galactic unconscious. So these are metaphysical principles that are written about in various spiritual texts, such as theosophy teachings. But as somebody who's spent a lot of time exploring these things very deeply, I can tell you they're all very real. And it is the unconscious mind, particularly when people do plant medicine journeys, that they end up getting immersed in. And because we hold trauma in both our subconscious and our unconscious, if a person isn't adequately supported and prepared for a plant medicine ceremony, then when the drug effect takes place and the ego network begins to dissolve, you don't have any capacity for repression of that unconscious material. So it begins to rise up, and it can rise up from the subconscious, which could be sexual trauma, physical traumas, emotional traumas that are stored and linked into your body, and they can also be stored in your personal unconscious. And you can also confront your own shadow in these medicine ceremonies. And the same things happen in meditation. If a person gets deep enough into meditation, they can have exactly the same experiences. The difference is plant medicines amplify the experience. So the more of a drug you take in the plant medicine or psychedelic family, the more amplification you put on what's in the subconscious and the unconscious. So if it's good stuff, it's amplified. If it's challenging stuff, it's amplified. So for example, a 2-gram mushroom experience will be like turning the knob on your stereo to the volume 2, and 10 grams would be a very loud experience, which could be shocking and traumatic, because we all not only have a lot of our own material in our unconscious, but we have family material in there, and we have our connection to the collective unconscious. So you can go right into the profound experiences of the memory of all living experiences of this planet. And I've been there, and it's extremely intense. That's why you shouldn't play around with psychedelics without a skilled guide, because if you get into the collective unconscious, it could actually turn you into a psych patient or a schizophrenic. And I've seen and had to help many people that have done too many journeys, mixing medicines too high of a dose, and ended up right there deep in the collective unconscious. And it's a very scary experience, because it's hard to make heads or tails of anything, because at the same moment you're experiencing the pain of some child being beaten or raped or abused, you're also experiencing countless numbers of people orgasming at the same time, and the joy of birth and celebration and graduation. So when you get this mix of strong, negative, scary stuff with intense, positive stuff, it literally feels like someone threw a hand grenade into your pocket and it just blew up. And it's very, very hard to keep your conscious mind oriented, because you can't tell what's real. So there's a little overview of the subconscious, the various structures of the unconscious, a bit about how it works, and a bit about why plant medicines can be helpful but potentially dangerous if not done skillfully. And also, I mentioned that meditation is a great way to get into the depths of yourself, but you can run into the same challenges as well and need the same kind of guidance that you do using plant medicines, even though you're not using any psychedelic drugs at all. And I've seen many such cases. But as the old saying goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And if you're doing it naturally and it rises up, it's pretty safe to say that your soul thinks you can handle it. So hope that's helpful to all of you. Lots of love.